New head coach, new defensive coordinator, new coaching staff, new players. Doesn't matter. Still the same team. Oh my god, I thought we were done with losing games we had a 90% chance to win. I thought that was going to stop. Come on. You serious? First game of the year? Come on, man.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Are you guys excited for Bears football? Are you excited for Bears football? Oh. This team is going to kill me. How does that even happen? How does that even happen, man?
Bears lose. Again. Again. And again. And again.
When will we ever be happy, man? They lose 27-24 to the Minnesota Vikings, starting a rookie quarterback in his first ever game, and he looked like putrid dog water for the first half. And they lost. They played they played miles better than them in that first half. How did they not put it away? How did they not put it away? I'm so sick and tired of all the losing, man. It's getting harder and harder to continue to look for positives. It is getting harder and harder to look at anything more than just the final score. It is getting harder and harder to evaluate things when you lose a game like this. Real quick, for those who don't know, I'm Alex. This is my 6th year now making videos after a Bears game. I want to see how much they've won. Not a lot. Not a lot. It is so infuriating following this team. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know if I've been more nervous for a week 1 game in my life. I don't know if I've been more nervous because I knew that there was so much riding on this week 1 game for a lot of people in this fan base. A lot of people in this fan base were expecting so much more out of this game. And, I was so nervous because I knew something like this could happen. Everything pointed to the Bears winning this game. In my opinion, at least, right? New head coach, and said head coach is great against opposing defensive coordinator. He was like the only guy who was able to really beat him last year. They're starting a rookie quarterback on the road. You're at home. All the signs pointed them for him to win this game. But at the same time, we as fans need to understand, what team are we talking about? Those Chicago Bears. It's just gonna happen. They're gonna find a way. This was going to be a game that they were going to survive to win, not because they were going to outplay the Vikings. And it was pretty apparent in the third quarter that was how they were going to win this game. They were going to survive. They weren't going to go out and step on the throat. It was pretty clear. And see, I knew it. I could feel it. Third quarter, the offense can't do anything. Vikings offense is still not doing great, but they're still instead of going 3 and out, they're now getting a first down or 2. Their running game's starting to go a little bit. And figured it out in the fourth quarter. And it really sucks. And I feel bad for that defense because they played 3 great quarters of football. I have to admit, they played 3 great quarters of football without 3 of their top 5 defenders. Jalen Johnson, jersey I'm wearing right now, I'm wearing a 33. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, and TJ Edwards. They're out down their 2 best corners and their best linebacker. And they played great for 3 quarters. Until the Vikings figured out, oh wait, We're playing backups in this secondary. Let's attack it. And what do you know? J.J. McCarthy's able to feast on it. And this game kind of, especially that fourth quarter, boils down to the fact you're going up a brand new coaching staff in their first game together against an experienced coaching staff in what, year 3 or 4? Kevin O'Connell is a phenomenal head coach. This game proves to me and has convinced me that Kevin O'Connell is a top 5 coach in the National Football League. And the Bears passed him up for Matt Eberflus. Now, you see, here's the thing. I'm not going to go ahead and sulk and moan about the fact that they didn't sign Kevin O'Connell all those years ago, because they have Ben Johnson now. That he is a guy that can be able to match the talent level of some of the other coaches in the NFC North. He just needs to realize that and, get it done. This was a total malpractice from the entire team. But I'm not out on Ben Johnson. I've seen a couple of people already giving up. Season's over. Williams is a bust. Put in Bajent. Ben Johnson's Matt Eberflus too. Shut up. Oh my God. Shut up. I know the team has stunk and stunk for so long. But the problem is, there's no way they're going to get better if we can't have a head coach QB tandem there for longer than 5 games. 5 games, and we're not even we're 1 game in, and we're already having people say, "Get rid of everything, clean house, get rid of it." You guys, it is infuriating to have to go through this type of stuff, and we're 1 game into a tenure, and we're like, "It's over. He's the next Eberflus." It's never going to change. I am so sick of the doomer mentality in the Bears fan base. I'm so sick of it because it's not like well-intentioned almost. Like there's a point to be like, same team, doesn't matter. I literally just did it at the beginning of the video. But at the same time, we have to understand that it is a QB starting his 18th game, which I'll get into him in a little bit. He's not off the hook. He's not off the hook. But new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator, all these other supplemental coaches are here for the first time. Like when you talk about last year's coaching staff, there is little to nothing left of it. That was erased. And we're 1 game in to a brand new coaching staff, and we're calling for heads already? You kidding me? Like if you have this mentality that it's just going to be the same and we can't have any patience after 1 game, then you're never going to do anything, because if you fire everyone after 1 game, we're talking about interim head coach for 17 weeks. And then we're talking about hiring a new head coach in January. And then what? Week 1 comes around next year and he loses and we're talking about the exact same thing? It's ridiculous. It's a dumb claim. And it is a claim that is made when you're just mad. So give it a second. I'm mad too. I'm recording this. This is like the first time I've ever recorded a game reaction the day after. Real quick on that. I'm going to try and do live post-game reactions. I'm going to try and do some more live content to get in more contact with you guys and build a community here so we can all suffer together. I wasn't planning on streaming for like 3 hours last night, but I ended up doing it. I was planning on going for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, but you guys were awesome, chatting around, keeping the conversation going, and so that's what happened. So that's why I'm doing this a day late. Dude, I just don't know, man. I am so fed up with blowing these huge leads to the point where this honestly didn't even feel like the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, we had an 11-point lead going into the fourth quarter and it was gone in 5 minutes. The Vikings led for the final 10 minutes of this game. This wasn't Sunday night with Buffalo and Baltimore, which, by the way, that game was phenomenal. This wasn't like we had a 15-point lead with 4 minutes to go and lost. Like, no, we were losing for the last 10 minutes of this game. And we were losing by double digits by the end of it. Like, I mean, if that is the epitome of like a light switch, and it's just like everything shifts, and it's just like all the energy, all the negative energy that J.J. McCarthy had and that offense had was just shifted. It was just transferred. I can't believe it. But actually, no, I can believe it. Because it's the Chicago Bears. And they've done this exact same song and dance several times under Matt Eberflus. And this game right here, folks, is exactly why this year and this entire offseason I told myself, manage your expectations. Don't buy in. Don't buy in. Don't buy in. You need to see it to believe it. Don't just say it's going to happen. Because if you do, you're just going to get your heart broken. Because I've done it so many times before. 2019 and 2024 specifically were two teams that I bought all in on. All in. Only to underperform to a massive extent. So I am not going to be predicting anything good. Not even like good, but like I'm not even predicting them to go to the playoffs for a while. It's not happening until they show me it's not going to happen. Just like I really genuinely am at this point thinking that Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, I'm never going to pick them to win against Mahomes in the playoffs until I see it happen. Right? It's like sometimes you almost, all the signs point to this should be the time, things change, this should be the moment it all changes, and it doesn't. The team that has sucked continues to suck. The player that always beats everyone else beats everyone else. I need to see it to believe it now at this point. And until then, I got to temper my expectations. I think this team is really talented. I think this team can get to the playoffs if they play well. But if they play anything like this, not a long shot. They're going to be terrible again if they play like this. Which brings me to the elephant in the room. Caleb Williams. I've tried to avoid talking about him for a little bit now, but got up talking about him at some point. How in the world do you get outplayed in that game? How in the world do you get outplayed in that game? I'm sorry. How does that happen? When J.J. McCarthy goes 3 and out on like 6 of his first 7 drives, and I'm not exaggerating about that. I think it was literally like 6 of his first 7 drives were 3 and outs. And then you get outplayed is beyond me. Beyond me. That is a guy that despite early struggles and early frustrations, did not give up, did not give in, needed to get hit around a little bit, but he stuck in there, hung in there, and when the time came, made throws when he needed to. That's the bottom line. He rallied the troops. He played like a true leader and a true winner today. Like, he overcame 6 or 7 3 and outs, a pick 6, and no momentum whatsoever. I don't know what that was. Great, now I lost my train of thought. Like, he rallied. He rallied. He stuck with it and he didn't give up. You let one bad throw derail your entire night. Your entire night. It is getting harder and harder to defend this guy. Accuracy problems are still present. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know what it is about wearing blue and orange that magically makes you incapable to throw a football. I don't know what it is. How in the world does every single guy that ends up wearing blue and orange becomes incapable to take the thing we call a football, the egg-shaped thing, and is able to throw it with accuracy? I don't know what it is. And it's absolutely infuriating. If this guy does not work out, and we have to trade him, we have to cut him, whatever, I don't think this team will ever be able to develop a great quarterback. They could probably have a great quarterback. They'll have to trade for him. Because guess what? The best quarterback in franchise history, from a statistical standpoint, is Jay Cutler. He has 9,000 more passing yards than the next highest quarterback, which is Sid Luckman. And we traded for him. He wasn't even a guy we developed. He was like 3 or 4 years into his career when we traded for him. So I don't think it'll ever happen. I don't think the Bears will be ever able to develop a proper starting quarterback if they can't develop Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson here. If they cannot do it, I will be convinced, because that was abhorrent. And so here's the thing as well. It's a lot on Caleb Williams, but it's not all on him, because there were some bad penalties. There were some bad moments. The entire team let momentum slip out of their hands. The defense, after playing 3 phenomenal quarters, just folded. But then again, it's harder to blame them because they had 3 of their top 5 players out. They're down their 2 starting corners, so they were able to, J.J. McCarthy finally realized he's playing backup corners and was able to throw against them. And then the running game got going, and the running defense got tired because the offense couldn't stay out there for more than 3 plays. What do you know? I've seen this game so many times. Except the difference is usually the Bears are barely clinging on to, competitiveness in that game. They're down 1 score. They're down 6 points, and the defense is making big stop after big stop. But then all of a sudden, when the offense, again, can't do anything, defense is tired. They got to go trot back out there, and they get gashed. And it's over. I'm just so sick and tired of having these same conversations over and over and over again. It's like this never-ending hamster wheel. When is it going to change? When are things going to start looking up for the team? When are things going to... And I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be never. I'm not going to sit here and say that, because that's just unrealistic. It's going to happen at some point in my lifetime, whether it's in 5 years, next year, this year, or in 50 years. It's going to happen at some point in my lifetime where this team finally turns it around and has a true contending window. But right now, all anyone can do is stare at that box score and say, L, 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 L. Nothing good. Nothing good. Nothing good happens in a game where you lose. Nothing happens. Nothing good. Nothing good. Nothing good. Nothing good. It's this doomer attitude that just frustrates the hell out of me. And it bogs me down, and it almost makes me part of it right now. Because I'm so tired of losing, but I'm also at the same point, it's like, when is it going to change? What do we need to do? The pieces are there, and it is set up for this to be the start of a turnaround. And I know it's week 1, but there are a lot of tropes that we've seen in so many past Bears teams that resurrected themselves tonight. Or last night. Ben Johnson confused me a little bit tonight. I didn't think... there were some people who said he called a really bad game. I didn't think so. There were a couple design screen passes I didn't like. The only thing about his scheming that I really didn't care for was the fact that the running game didn't get going. And they kind of accepted that, at some point in the game, that the running game just was not going to get going. So we got to figure it out in some other way. Because DeAndre Swift averaged 3.1 yards per carry. Not good. Caleb Williams is the team leading rusher, and he had half the carries that DeAndre Swift did. And, oh, by the way, all those yards were scramble yards. There was not a single designed QB run in this game. How does DeAndre Swift get outrushed by Caleb Williams? I have no freaking idea. And then we got DJ Moore getting a couple handoffs. That to me was the damning part of the run game. Roschon Johnson's absence was felt so much that they were giving handoffs to DJ Moore, and not a single carry went to Kyle Monangai. Not a single one. And that, to me, shows that Ben Johnson did not trust in Monangai or anyone else to get a running offense going. And that is scary, because he relies on the running offense a lot to make sure that everything else opens up. Speaking on Ben Johnson, I actually got a chance to watch his press conference before, press and record and everything. I will say, despite the loss and despite how awful it was, it sounded better than Matt Eberflus. There wasn't a lot of smiling. Wasn't a lot of blame deflection. Said a lot of, we need to be better. I need to be better. we got to get this fixed. I got to get it fixed. We've been working on this since training camp, and it's not there. Like, a lot of acceptance of blame. And I think that there's a lot of things that the entire team collapsed. It wasn't one specific person, honestly. The entire team just collapsed. And so, here's the big thing. Can they rally? Can they take this type of a heartbreaking loss to start a tenure, start a season, all that wonderful stuff, with all this pressure from the Chicago media, which is notoriously torn and ripped coaches to shreds? The first ounce of losing they see, they rip them to shreds. Bears football fans absolutely hate every single head coach that comes here. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't see anyone talk about any coach in a good way other besides Hallis, Ditka, and sometimes I see people talk about Lovie Smith in a positive light. This city is so quick to crucify coaching. It is so quick to it. It has been right the last handful of coaches. But it is one game, and that's something I have to just continue to tell myself. It is one game with a brand new head coaching staff. If I'm going to be mad at someone in the organization, it is not going to be the head coach. Despite, like in the sense that despite everything bad that happened, it's still his first game. There is some leeway. You can be mad at him all you want. There is some leeway because it is his first game as an NFL head coach. I don't know, man. I'm kind of out of things to say, but I will real quick touch on a couple positives because I need to do this for my own sanity. You can call it coping all you want or whatever. I need to be able to look at some things positive. Opening drive, in that first opening drive, awesome. Caleb didn't throw an incompletion, and he rushed for his first career rushing touchdown and lowered his shoulder while going in. That was awesome. Everything else after that, not good. Not good. But that opening drive, at least they had that opening drive. And on defense, I mean, the backups showed up. Noah Sewell, replacing TJ Edwards, led the team in tackles. And he had 7 solo tackles. He did a great job stopping the run today, and you could tell he got real tired by the end of the game, and that's why Jordan Mason was able to eat up all that yardage. They kept attacking Sewell and Edmonds, and they started to struggle and get tired and weren't able to bring him down on first contact. He was able to push ahead for another yard or two every single time and eat up yardage. But Noah Sewell, outside of like that fourth quarter, and same thing goes with everyone on the defense. Great game. I'm very impressed with Noah Sewell and how he played, and he's going to prove to be a great third linebacker when Edwards comes back, whenever that is, because I have no idea what's going to happen. But at the same time, I also feel confident if we have to start him next week or any other time of the season, that he'll do a good enough job to limit the damage or limit the loss of a guy like TJ Edwards. And then I want to shout out Nashawn Wright, who got that pick 6. A guy who was on the practice squad for the Vikings last year, who basically was set up to fail and cover Justin Jefferson during practices, who was basically told, go out there, do your best, but you're going to fail. You're going to fail. To go out there covering Justin Jefferson and notch a pick 6, that's got to be awesome for him, and I cannot feel happier for that guy. Because his entire career led up to that route and him jumping that route for a pick 6. So I got to feel really good for Nashawn Wright, especially as a backup. He was the guy who was replacing Jalen Johnson. He might have a chance in a good way to become the first backup if Gordon's out for another week or Stevenson goes down with an injury. I think he's got a good chance to be there because he had to come in. I mean, like and he wasn't just like the next guy up. Terrell Smith's out. Josh Blackwell wasn't playing either. They're top 2 backups, at least from last year. So this is, I don't know if he was specifically on the depth chart, but this is CB 5 or 6 we're talking about. Him getting a pick 6 is awesome. I'm very happy for him. Good for you, Nashawn. Last thing I'm going to mention here. I've seen a lot of people talk about officiating. I am not going to sit here and say the officials lost us this game because that's just not true. Because good teams are able to overcome penalties. A lot of people have talked about the ghost holding call on Darnell Wright. And you can argue, absolutely, that probably wasn't a holding call. Probably wasn't. But here's the problem. Immediately after, Caleb Williams takes an intentional grounding penalty because he doesn't want to get sacked and therefore take us out of field goal range. I understand the idea, but he slipped and the throw was bad. Didn't go past the line of scrimmage. Intentional grounding, it's 3rd and 30. But good teams and competent organizations take a situation like that where they get a ticky-tacky call that's probably not great or doesn't go their way, and they overcome it. Even if they didn't pick up a first down there. Instead of taking it to be 3rd and 30 to about maybe, what was it, probably like 3rd and 17 or 4th and 17 or whatever, to be able to take 2nd and 20 and make it 4th and 2, kick a field goal instead, that's how, it's those subtle things. They should have been able to, great organizations turn those moments and turn them into first downs. But good organizations don't let a play or a penalty or a bad call like that switch the momentum of the game, because that's exactly what it did, what it ended up being. Because right after, Williams throws the unintentional grounding, they get back into field goal range a little bit. Santos misses the 50-yarder, which a lot of people have been calling for his head. Those concerns are starting to grow with me too. He's on a tight leash right now. He misses the 50-yarder, and from that moment right there, the entire game shifts because the Vikings would then go on 3 consecutive touchdown drives. So it's going to be a short but long week. And the Bears got to go play at Detroit next week. The Bears got to go play at Detroit after this. They're going to go 0-2. They're going to go 0-2, and the world's going to be on fire, and I am not ready for that. See, I fully expect them to lose this game, but with how poorly the Detroit Lions played against the Green Bay Packers week 1, there is that little... And see, here's the thing. There's that little voice in the back of your head that says, well, they played bad. Bears also maybe played bad, but the Lions looked awful. Chances are they could go out there and beat them. I don't think it happens, but it's not like it doesn't feel as hopeless as it did before the season of a week 2 game with how poorly they did. I mean, this weekend proves how important Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn were to the Detroit Lions. I think that if they go out there and they lay an egg and they lose to Chicago this week, I think it says a lot about the Detroit Lions and how important Johnson and Glenn were to their success last year and the years prior. But only time will tell. And see, here's the thing. Good coaching staffs take a game like this, and the team goes out there and they're competitive the next game. And they're fighting for every yard. And they still want to play for this coach and this organization. They aren't going to give up. They're not going to surrender. They respond. That's what good coaching staffs do and good teams do. They respond after a loss like this. They come back and they look competent. They look hungry and determined to pick up a win after blowing one the week prior. What we cannot see is what happened last year after Washington, where they go out to Arizona and lay a total egg and look even worse than before. The same thing happens the following week. Final point. Again, I've said this like 3 times. I know I've said it like 3 times before, but actually, last point. I totally tried to mention it when I was talking about Caleb Williams, but I totally forgot to. Caleb Williams is now 0-3 against the 2024 draft class. Yay! 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 They picked him over every one of them, and he lost to all of them, and got outplayed by all of them. I'm so happy. I love this team. This is awesome. Man. I hate this team, man. I hate this team so much. So much. This team is going to take years off my life. They probably already have taken years off my life. Same team. Doesn't matter who the coach is. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Doesn't matter who's on the fence. It doesn't matter who the GM is. Doesn't matter. Same team, man. Same freaking team. So welcome back, Bears football. I'm so glad you're back. Oh, I'm gonna take this. This team's gonna take another year off my life this year, aren't they? Oh, I'm so excited. That's it. If you liked it, please give it a like. Hit the subscribe button for more from me. You're going to see a lot more. It's Bears season. Channel's kicking in a high gear, man. And then, keep the conversation going in the comments section below. Let me know what you think about this putrid showing and what a rough start to this season, man. Let me know what you think. And, I'm going to go try and not think about this for the next 4 or 5 days. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.